Hey friends, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me. It is a beautiful day. We are here uptown at the Greenwood Building, home of A Mother's Nature, and we're going to be talking all about how to become a licensed massage therapist. I'm going to keep it clear and concise and stick to three main topics: schooling, licensure, and continuing education. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I think education is the least understood aspect of this whole thing, and it's also where you actually have to begin, so let's just start there. So of course this is going to vary depending on where you live, because you are licensed as a massage therapist at the state level. And different states have different requirements as far as like how many hours of education you have to receive, what that education needs to include, and then how you become licensed and so on. So I'm just gonna give kind of a broad overview of how most states do it, but I will put a link in the description down below for a resource where you can find information state by state and exactly what your state requires. That way you can dig a little bit deeper if you're interested. Most states are going to require a minimum of 500 hours at an accredited university, technical college, or trade school. I'm going to be honest, when I first decided to go into this career, I wasn't at all aware of like the depth of the education that was going to be required and what all I was going to have to learn. I had no idea that I was going to be learning so much about the human body in order to do this job. But once we got into it and I started learning, it was so fascinating, and I just dove in head first. Your education is going to be very well-rounded, and you're going to learn a lot more than I think most people expect is required of a massage therapist or body worker. How your education is presented is different depending on the school you go to, but most of the time, all of your classes are grouped together, and you're with like one group of people through the entire process. And I really enjoy that about trade schools and things like that, because I feel like we became, personally in my group of massage therapists, we became like a family. We were just together. We all had this shared experience that we were going through, and it was really unique, and it was much different than I think a typical college experience is. We did have to take a couple of classes that were outside of the massage therapy program curriculum itself, like my anatomy and physiology class was taken at the regular campus, just like any student who would be taking the AMP for nursing or any other healthcare career. Your schooling is going to be a combination of book learning, like actual reading and testing and things like that you think of typically when you go to college, and hands-on clinical hours. So in my particular situation, in South Carolina, we were required 500 hours of schooling, and that was broken up into the two categories, the books and the hands-on. And we did a full day of classes in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we were doing massages 4 sessions a day. Now, the first semester is usually just classroom learning. You have to actually learn a lot about the law and ethics and things like that to make sure you're practicing safely before they just send you out, working on the public. And we did practice on each other a lot, which was actually really nice because you were getting a massage like every other day and then giving one every other day. But you were learning a lot through that actual hands-on process in order to make it less awkward, more comfortable for yourself, and like I said, safe for the public and the people that you're working on once you do get into your clinical hours themselves. And when I say clinical hours, how our school was set up was that it was open to the public, but it was free. They did make a donation for the massage, and that all went into a scholarship fund. But basically what you're doing is learning as you go, and everybody who comes into that situation knows that you're students and that you're learning, and they sign a waiver and things like that. So there's no issues with legality there. And so part of our education was running that clinic as well. We didn't just do the massage therapy portion of it. We worked in the office, we did the intake, we took appointments and phone calls, we took the money, we kept track of the financial part of it. We did the sheets and the laundry and the cleanup and the sanitizing. And after each person's massage was done, they would fill out a survey and they would answer questions about their experience. And that would help us to learn as well about what we had done well and what we needed to work on. And we could learn from each other's experiences also. Then once you get into the massage massage-specific curriculum. It focuses, of course, a lot on muscles, bones, nerves, the physical makeup of the body and where those things are located. Then it goes even deeper than that, and you're learning a lot about pathology and the different diseases of the body and different contraindications that there could be for massage. So in order to know what you can do safely, you have to know what is not safe to do. You learn a lot about different medications and things that might cause an issue with different types of pressure or different modalities. There's also certain diseases or active pathologies that can be going on in the body that could affect the way that you need to do the massage, or you may not need to do the massage at all. We also, of course, learn a lot about movement of the body and where the normal range of motion and things like that should be, how different joints are attached, how they work, the actual mechanics of the body is very important in the educational part of massage. And then, of course, there's the law and ethics aspect that you're going to be learning about heavily in your schooling. Of course, we all know that this business has a long association and history with ethics, and we have worked very hard over the years to rewrite the narrative about massage and body work and have it hold its place where it belongs as a healthcare profession. And a big focus of the ethics portion of the education is learning what is appropriate and what should be done and how to do things like draping and positioning people. And unfortunately, living in a very litigious society like we do, we walk a fine line. So you learn a lot about things like how you can protect yourself with malpractice insurance and different kinds of liability and stuff like that. And so learning the law and ethics aspect is very, very important. And a big part of the education is learning how to run your business. We did a whole semester on business and running our business, how to set up a business, how to gain clientele, the different types of business that you can have. I'm going to do a whole video on different places that massage therapists work, whether you're self-employed, whether you work for a chiropractor or in a medical setting at a hospital, for a doctor's office, or if you're working in a relaxation spa type setting, something like Massage Envy or different resorts and on cruise ships and things like that. Really, the possibilities are limitless, but like I said, I'm going to do a whole video on that later. We did learn a lot about Eastern medicine as well. We learned about chakras and doshas and Ayurvedic medicine and the different elements and how they relate to different aspects of the body. We learned about reflexology. So it was a full, encompassing, very well-rounded education that was some of the kind of hippie woo-woo stuff that people think and associate with massage therapy in general, and a lot of it was the very rigid medical structured information as well. I like to marry them both together and meet somewhere in the middle because I am a big fan of science, research, education, and I'm also a big fan of the spiritual aspect and the cultural aspect that has surrounded this career for thousands of years. It is one of the oldest forms of medicine, and it has been around long before degrees and schooling and things like that, and it was passed down and it was traditional and it was inherited and cultural, like I said. And there is a lot of actual science behind it, and we can see how it helps with different disease and dysfunction of the body and how it helps to increase circulation, and with manual lymphatic drainage we can help reduce swelling and edema from things like cancers. We help people with pain, of course, but we're helping people who are suffering with issues like diabetes and carpal tunnel syndrome and scoliosis and migraine headaches. I mean, the list is just endless and it goes on and on. So while there's a very magical aspect to it, there's also a very scientific aspect to it, and I love to bring both of those things together in my practice and find that perfect balance. In most states, it is a certificate program. So when you graduate, you will receive a certificate in massage and bodywork therapy. So I could go on and on and on about the educational aspect because I just absolutely loved learning this craft and this skill, and I'm always a student. You're forever a student, and we'll talk more about continuing ed in a few minutes, but it's an opportunity to just keep growing and learning all of the time, and it sparked something in me when I started school for massage that I just didn't even know that I had. Hey guys, future me here, editing this video and realizing I left out a chunk of really important information. So I just had to film this little clip real quick and then we'll get back to the normal video. After you complete your schooling, you have to sit for a state level exam. Again, just like everything else, this varies a little bit depending on where you live, but basically it's a multiple choice computerized exam that you schedule at various testing locations throughout your state. It costs somewhere between $200 and $500 to take the exam, and you have 3 chances to take it before you're required to go back and repeat your massage schooling, and then you can sit for the exam again. All right, I'm gonna hand it back to past me now. Okay, so once you complete your massage schooling and receive your certificate, you're eligible to apply for licensure. Again, this is going to vary a little bit from state to state, but in most places it's pretty simple. You send in the proof of your massage schooling, your certificate and transcripts from there, a copy of your GED or high school diploma, along with a passing score from the very important exam we just talked about, along with a fee that usually ranges from $100 to $200. You also have to pass a criminal background check. So after you send it all in, it usually takes about a couple of weeks and you'll receive communication from your licensing board in your state and a copy of your license in the mail, and it's really freaking exciting. Your first license is usually good for 1 year, and then after that, each license is good for 2 years. Now, with your first license, you usually are not required any continuing education to renew it. So you can go 3 years from the time you graduate from your original massage schooling until you are required to do any CEUs. So like I said earlier, the license is usually good for about 2 years in each state, and what you'll have to do at that point is renew it. In order to renew it, you're going to be required to do some continuing education. In my state, we're required 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years when we renew our license. There are so many options available. You're going to get things in the mail once you're licensed, tons of different classes that are in your area and stuff like that. But you can also take them online. You can take credits in anything you're interested in. The options are limitless. You can learn geriatric massage. You can learn different techniques for scoliosis, for arthritis, for diabetes, any different kind of health conditions that massage can assist with. There's going to be classes for that. But it's so varied and there's so much available and so much out there, and it's really exciting to continue to learn more and add to your craft and add to your business and the different skill set that you have. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. And if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up because it really does help me out. Also, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to continue on with this series, answering all of the frequently asked questions that I get about my massage therapy business and massage in general. And I'm so excited for it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you do something today to take care of yourselves. Bye. Hey friends, welcome back. Thanks for joining. There are so many people around here. And then there's this guy fucking leaf blowing. Leaf blowing! I mean, I appreciate it that he's leaf blowing. Like, keep the city clean and all. You know, it's kind of killing my vibe.